Welcome back to Afternoon Live. When you're busy holiday shopping, it is easy to get distracted. Our next guest today says paying attention to your surroundings could ultimately save your life. Here with personal safety tips all women should know, we welcome the author of Street Smarts, Trust Your Instincts, Outsmart Danger, and Stay Safe in a World That Isn't, Dannah Eve. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, tell me about putting the book together. I think a lot of our viewers will recognize your social media presence. You share so much great advice on your page. How did it become a book project?
You know what? I had this idea a long time ago where I just wanted to take to social media and share safety tips, and I would have never known that it was going to turn into this. And my literary agent approached me and asked if I wanted to write a book, which is funny because ever since I was a little girl, it was a dream of mine to publish a book. So it's kind of a full circle moment. And I was like, what better way to get the information into more hands? So I was on board. I said, absolutely. And it was in the works for about 2 years. And I am so excited for it to launch February 3rd.
Well, congratulations, and how great to have all that wonderful advice all in one place. So let's talk about the holiday season specifically. It makes sense. We're busy and distracted. Are we easier targets than we think sometimes?
Unfortunately, yes, absolutely. The second you let your guard down, the holidays are exciting. There's a lot going on. You're distracted very easily. And unfortunately, that does make you more vulnerable.
Let's talk about some tips. You can kind of walk us through the details here, beginning with, let's say you're heading out for a big shopping excursion. You've got to be hyper aware as soon as you even enter a parking lot.
Yes. So something that I always say is the second you enter that parking lot, like you're turning on that awareness, and you want to be mindful of where you're parking and what is around you when you're parking. I always reverse into the spot just because it gives me a better vantage point to see who and what's there when I get out of my car, and it's easier to drive away if something would go wrong. The closer you could park, the better. You want well lit and populated, a lot of people around. It's easier with the holidays because it tends to be a little bit more busy. But again, just parking, and the second you unlock that door, you got to know who's around you.
And you say don't be a sitting duck. So tell me about, not just making ourselves vulnerable immediately after we pull into the spot.
Exactly. Don't be a sitting duck simply means don't sit in your car and scroll on social media or answer text messages. That sitting there, you are in a vulnerable situation and you want to be able to see again what's approaching your car. So don't sit, don't answer text messages, email is not the time to do that. Wait until you're home.
Okay, what about carrying personal protection that we're actually comfortable with using?
Pepper gel, pepper spray, personal alarm, great options. Obviously, there's a big range out there. So I always say carry a form of personal protection that you feel comfortable using and that you feel confident using, most importantly.
Yeah, because even those alarms, they're so simple and they can have a big impact even if you don't want to carry something maybe more dangerous than that.
Absolutely. And you know what I always say in a dangerous situation, noise is your friend, and those personal alarms really help draw attention to you. So they're great to have.
They are so loud and super effective. Okay, just trusting your instincts, right? And asking for an escort if that's something that you just feel like something's off.
Absolutely. I mean, you know what? Our gut instincts are there for a reason. And if you're walking around a store and something feels off, there's nothing wrong with asking to be walked out to your car. And same goes for if you pull in and something doesn't feel right. Always lean into that feeling because it's there for a reason.
What about, I think a lot of people can relate to this, you're shopping around, you're moving about a store, and there's somebody that's present with you and kind of understanding, is this person following me? Am I being paranoid? How do you kind of tap into that in that moment when sometimes maybe we're overanalyzing things?
You know what? It's easy to kind of try and brush it off and say like, oh, it's just a coincidence. But if you see somebody in the same aisle as you and you go to another aisle and they're right behind you, it's probably not a coincidence, and it's always best to err on the side of caution. Stay where it's populated and never leave the store by yourself. Again, ask for an escort, ask for a security guard. Never feel afraid to ask for help because at the end of the day, your safety is your priority. And if something feels off or if somebody feels off, there's a very good chance that you're right.
Okay, what about having your keys in your hand at the ready?
That's very important. That kind of goes back to being a sitting duck, and this time outside your car, not inside your car. So when you get to your vehicle, you want to have your keys in hand ready to unlock so you can get in, close that door, and lock it. You don't want to be standing there digging in your purse distracted because that does make you a very easy target.
And then similar to what we said earlier about not being a sitting duck, you got to get moving right away, right? Start the car, lock the doors, don't sit there and scroll again once you're finished.
Absolutely. You don't really want to sit in a parking lot, just not the place to be, not a place to want to hang around in. So it's a transitional space. You're more vulnerable in a transitional space. Get in your car, always lock those doors immediately, and then get out of there. Go scroll on your phone when you're sitting safe on your couch.
Well, and I think a lot of people have had this experience somewhere, especially a busy shopping season. Somebody might approach your car window. Just don't even think about rolling it down.
Don't. You know what? The sad thing is you never know who you're crossing paths with. So you don't know people's intentions. And at the end of the day, your safety is your number one priority. Even if sometimes you feel really bad for doing so, keep your windows up, keep the doors locked, smile, wave, drive away.
Okay.
It's just not worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so back home, you finished your shopping, you've arrived back home safely. I mean, don't just open your front door. Same idea, right? For somebody that you don't know.
Same idea, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of knocks on the door. If you don't know the person, if you're not expecting somebody, never open that door. Make sure your kids know, make sure your babysitters, nannies know. It's just, you never know. Again, at the end of the day, you don't know what people's intentions are. And if you open that door to somebody that you're not expecting and don't know, you unfortunately could open yourself to a home invasion. There are many ploys like a child crying, people fake urgency or even authority. They could dress as police officers. So it's best to err on the side of caution. If you're not sure, call 911. Verify that it's a cop or send help. You know what I mean? Just keep that door closed and keep that door locked always. That's a good habit to get into.
Okay, this is a great idea. Hiding the evidence of the stuff that you've bought, right? Breaking down all those gigantic boxes so people can't just immediately see exactly what you've just purchased.
Exactly. You get like an expensive piece of jewelry or a big TV. You don't want that box sitting outside your house because now that is advertisement that, hey, this is inside. So break down those boxes and put them away, recycle them, make it so they're not visible from the outside.
Such a great tip. Okay, bonus things for parents if you're out and about shopping with kids. The eyes on rule. You got to keep them in sight. It's hard sometimes, but you got to do it.
Absolutely. You know what? Again, it's just I have a 3-year-old son, so when we're running around, he's quick, and so one of us is always on him at all times, and we want him, within grabbing distance. I don't let him run in front of me. I don't let him run behind me. I need to see him and be able to grab him at all times. I know that's a little bit harder if you have more than one kid with you. So a great tip, and I have many moms do this, they just plop all their kids in the cart and they make it kind of a fun ride. It's a good way to keep everybody together and everybody safe.
Totally. It's a good lesson and maybe courtesy too. Nobody wants to find random children in random aisles of the store just running amok. Nobody wants that to happen. Okay, tell me about this concept of in the parking lot using your grocery cart or something to kind of help shield you in that situation.
Yes, so I call this the triangle method, and this is something that I've practiced for years. It's actually something that a former Secret Service agent taught me when I was in college. So you basically form a triangle around you using your shopping cart, one of your doors, and your vehicle. So it gives you a barrier behind you and in front of you, and that way you get to load your groceries safely. And if you have kids with you, you load your kiddo first to get them safely in the car. Make sure all other doors are locked so that then you have an easy way if something would, kind of go wrong or someone would approach you, you can get in the vehicle. You could also use the shopping cart as a weapon itself, and you could kick it or push it in the direction of somebody that might be coming with malicious intentions and get out of there safely. And the same goes for the trunk. You can kind of get creative and do the same thing there.
That's so cool, and I love the concept of your back is covered, right? Because that's sort of the unknown. We're always looking over our shoulder, but if you have that kind of extra sense of security, you can probably move a lot faster and get out sooner too.
Absolutely, 100%. You want that barrier behind you, and you always want to be aware of who and what's around you, what's in front of you, most importantly.
Such great advice. Thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It was great chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me. Happy holidays and stay safe.
Oh, you as well. Okay, Dannah's book again is Street Smarts, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.